One of my least favorite mining rigs has become actually one of my favorite mining rigs recently. What's up? I'm Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I've been working hard over the last few years to build the VoskCoin mining farm. Over the last year, it's gotten very serious. And in that period, I picked up some Bitmain Antminer K7s, the 63.5 terahash a second model, as well as the 58. I had a lot of instability issues with these, and it took a long time for Bitmain to ever fix this. But eventually, a firmware update did make these finally, because I'm telling you, it took me like a year, right, to get this kind of update stable. But then the coin that they mined had a halving, kind of like the incoming Bitcoin halving, and they were barely breaking even, turning out to just be not lucrative at all. But then something magical happened. In crypto, we call it a pump. That cryptocurrency pumped, and the price moved a freaking decimal point, which made the mining profitability of these miners skyrocket. So what do? I buy more of them. And now there's a new firmware update. There's also a new Dogecoin miner that's earning like 35 bucks a day that came out of nowhere and has best in class efficiency. So we'll touch on that a bit here as well. So let's go ahead and dig into it. It's a mining joke. Haha. Getting into mining honestly is easy. You just plug in power and Ethernet and you start earning coin. These are ASIC miners, basically purpose-built passive income machines. They mine one mining algorithm, it's called Eagle Song, which mines the Nervos Network CKB coin. You can also just basically mine Bitcoin with these indirectly through a mining pool. But when you diversify your mining farm with a bunch of different miners, you can run into more issues because you're just kind of opening Pandora's box with each of these devices. Then there's also specific issues or hurdles or whatever related to those specific miners. Again, like the K7s were so unreliable, but now they're not. If you're totally new to this, check out our 1-hour video guide. I go through everything, crash course on the basics and then some, including going over electrical requirements so you can do this efficiently and safely, right? Because it's not going to be that profitable if you break your mining rig. Difficult to do, but it's been done before. So I have remoted into one of my Bitmain Antminer K7s. I originally had 3. I'm a madman with 15 now. If you want to hear the full story on that, watch the recent video where I was like, I'm going to buy 12 miners. Let's see how this goes. It's going. So I'm remoted into my mining farm, and then I'm remoted into one of my mining rigs. You can see I have the November 2023 firmware. This is the firmware that I was referencing that has been a good experience. There were a lot of CKB miners just sitting around because it wasn't barely profitable to get these, but the coin skyrocketed, and then the miner prices have been following suit, which we've talked about that interesting strategy many times before. We have not seen Bitmain release many public batches on their website, but I'm sure they're hustling to make some more K7 miners because they are a hot commodity right now, at least to those that are paying attention. But even the price increase for these miners does not match the recent price pump at all. The coin's up 300%, but the miner prices have only basically doubled, which is a good thing if you want to grab more, which is one of the reasons why I did grab significantly more K7 miners. So I'm on Bitmain's site, and you saw me click over to their firmware section. I'm actually going to grab this link. I guess my paste isn't going to work remotely here, so I'll just navigate directly to, well, I'll try to. You want to be super cautious, right? And I'll directly link out to this down in the video description below, that you are in the right place when you download anything related to crypto for obvious reasons. But there are literally things called ASIC miner viruses. Like, you can get a virus on your miner and it can basically steal your hash rate. If that's not scary, I don't know what else is in the mining game. So you can see that download completed, and then I will click over to the firmware upgrade. I will then go to the upload button, and then I can just go and use this .bmu file as is. So that's a March 2024 firmware, nearly 6 months later. So while I'm really a if it ain't broke, don't fix it or even touch it dude kind of guy, the Bitmain Antminer firmware, historically, all of them have generally been good, right? The later firmwares truly oftentimes lead to less hardware errors, more stability, or like I referenced earlier in this video, finally some stability, right? So I can only assume that they take this firmware obviously very seriously, but they take their time with it and only release firmware that's worth installing. It's a pain to install firmware though, without any kind of like aftermarket management software, right? Because for example here, I've got to put in the next IP address. Come on, I'm struggling here. All right, so root's going to be the default login here. And so I just did one miner. And I come over here, I go to the systems, I go to the firmware, I grab that same file, keep the same settings, that's keeping your mining pool settings, and upload it, right? And it's like, okay, now I got 2 down. This looks successful. We can see that the firmware file is down there, listed as we would expect. You don't really need to do this, but I kind of just like to just do a good old-fashioned restart. And while I'm in here messing with the miners, I had originally just thrown these on NiceHash when I got them. Just real quick, it's like, let me get everything operational. Everything's kind of crazy pumping right now. Let me get some Bitcoin with these K7 miners. But I'm pretty excited and bullish for CKB in this cycle, and it's shown really, really good early strength here. And yeah, Bitcoin's incredible, but Bitcoin's up 163% over the last year. If you compare that to CKB, it's up 328%. Do I think that CKB would be doing this if Bitcoin didn't hit a new all-time high? No, but you would be up, literally twice as much if you were in CKB as opposed to Bitcoin. And it's not some obscure coin. It's ranked 129 by coin market cap. By the market cap of this cryptocurrency, it's now worth nearly $1 billion, and there will be plenty of liquidity for somebody like me with 24-hour trading volume of $24 million. Looks like that second miner updated there as we expected, hoped for. So I'll hit it with a quick restart-a-roni. And just like that, 2 of these are updated. Before this video is done being edited and published here on YouTube, if there's any notable difference with this firmware versus the old one, I'll let you know. But if this video just keeps going, then there wasn't really anything notable there. But I'm gonna need to leave a couple on old firmware and just gather some data and make a verdict there. The mining profitability of these very high. They've recently been mining over $30 a day at many different times. The hash rate for CKB mining is skyrocketing, but these are still doing like 22, 24 bucks a day in mining profitability on NiceHash getting paid out in Bitcoin. Everybody's been so fixated on Kaspa mining, right? And understandably so. It's up 517% over the last year. And when you look at the emissions, it's about $1.5 million per day of newly mined coins, right? 133,000 pales in comparison to that. But let's not forget that that is up huge just in the last month or so, which has made CKB mining so profitable. We look at the network hash rate, and I mean, it is just absolutely exploding on Kaspa. Remember, they use a different mining algorithm. The hash rate is not directly comparable, but these growth percentages absolutely are. Kaspa also reduces their emission rate every month and essentially halves annually. Every day lately though, in comparison, CKB is basically hitting a new all-time high in hash rate. Because everybody's rushing to find any of these miners in warehouses, buy new stock from manufacturers, and even miners like the IB-Link BMN3 that were not profitable have become worth running again, as well as like the gold shell CK boxes, the little mini CKB miners. So Bitcoin's hitting new all-time highs in network hash rate. So is Kaspa, and so is Nervos. The bull run is hitting, it's here, and it's happening very fast. And while you look at chart-topping miners like the Bitmain Antminer K7 ASIC, another Kaspa miner, and mining $73 a day, that's crazy. That's incredible. But that's a miner that costs 10, 12, 15 grand depending on the freaking day you buy it. Whereas you can grab the K7 for around 5 grand now is kind of the going price for it with the recent CKB pump. And don't forget that with Coin Mining Central, we have entered an agreement with them to increase our coupon code that makes it the best coupon code that you can possibly get and use on their site. So if you want to support the content, support the channel, and support yourself, please punch in code VoskCoin and use our link out in the video description below. But you can get basically 3 of these miners for around that price. And in recent days, you would have achieved higher mining profitability even after paying your electricity bill. But it's not exactly this versus that. I just know that Kaspa mining is so hot and everyone is so fixated on that, myself included. I spend a lot of time thinking, researching, and procuring miners for it. But at least for me, after running all the numbers, there's a reason I dropped 40 grand on more K7 miners and not 40 more grand on more Kaspa miners. But who knows? Also, before Doge pumped, I spent about $6,500 grabbing the Elphapex DG1 miner. So this is in stock and ready to ship from Coin Mining Central here as well. But this is a miner that's earning like $35 a day. And here, check the stats. Yesterday, I mined 143 Dogecoin and I mined 0.039 Litecoin. That translates to about a whopping $4. I know, it's crazy profit. Do something Litecoin up 10% in the last year. But Doge is up 202% in the last year. It's up 10% twice, sort of. Try to be funny there. In the last 24 hours. Doge is the 9th biggest cryptocurrency, whether you love or hate that little dog. I love that dog. Specifically, I love that dog, Tails. Who I think of more as like my daughter than a dog. She's part of our family. Really, she's the glue that made the family and holds it together. An incredible being. Something I cherish every day. But the bottom line is, this is a profitable miner from who the hell is this that came out of nowhere. And it's been impressive, and I don't think Doge is going to slow down. I think Doge is going to keep pumping. It is the people's choice of a cryptocurrency. Again, whether you love it or hate it, people are going to keep grabbing and scooping this up, and they're going to say, well, it's going to $1, $10, right? And so they'll send it to $1, then they'll start chanting 2 and 5 and 10 and whatever else. But you get a lot of coins for the money, and that's appealing to people. The psychology of that is just obviously proven time and time again. It's why the Doge clones have moved the decimal place even further. You'll buy so much more SHIB token for the money, but it's not that simple. It's all about the market cap. While I originally mined CKB on F2 pool, and this goes all the way back to their mining testnet, I think in 2019, that was 5 years ago. That's so crazy. I've had better mining profitability on DX pool, who we've talked about numerous times before. Where are you mining your CKB, and how are your results looking? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. So we can see these miners have come back online, and with 3 minutes of data, there's really nothing to decipher there. 5 minutes over here, unless the miner wasn't working for you, or if you're looking for like a bad hash board or something like that. But hey, it's working. Some days, that's all I ask. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through the other miners, update the firmware, and update the mining pool information to be mining CKB directly here again. So I hope you enjoyed the video, the content. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. Let me know if you're going to grab a miner, which one and why, or not. Or maybe you're one of those guys or girls and you're just like, I'm just going to buy the coin. I'm curious to hear about not only what you're doing, but why would you be doing this? So as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you later. I didn't forget 10 seconds of tails. We already ran it earlier. If you know, you know.